Venus is about to bring us love, money, harmony, happiness, and luck as she travels through her home kingdom of Taurus between the dates of April the 29th and March the 23rd. And what's so special about this is that she's doing a conjunction to the planet Jupiter. Yes, that Jupiter is still hanging out there with Uranus, and that's something we haven't seen in 12 years. Now, when Venus and Jupiter get together, it can be extremely fortunate. But this is a super active part of the sky because of that 14-year rare conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus. Jupiter and Uranus came together already on the 21st of April. It's also 84 years rare if you include it being in the sign of Taurus. This is a very hot part of our sky. And when Jupiter and Uranus join at 29 degrees of Taurus on the 23rd, after she's been traveling through her home kingdom, we can expect something beautiful, good, fortunate, and lucky in each of our lives. I'm going to delineate this story for you, and I'm also going to talk about it from the vantage point of your sun, moon, and rising sign. Listen for your rising sign first of all, because that is indeed most likely accurate. Then you can listen to the sun for father figures, career and purpose matters, and the moon for mother and mother figures, as well as home and body and also your mind. Now, as we go through this today, I'm also going to bring a bit of the world events into the story because Venus is the goddess of peace and we are in a time of war. I'm recording this for you on April the 19th, and in the world right now, Iran and Israel are duking it out, and we don't know where that's going to go. But Venus, the goddess of peace in her home kingdom of Taurus, may bring us some relief, and I'll explain some reasons why and when that may occur. That's called mundane or world astrology. It is always at the beginning of every one of my videos. Then you can jump to your sign if you want, or wait till you get through my beginning by hitting the chapters, which is hit the title of the video, and it will take you to your sign, or the comments pinned to the top of the description box. None of these times will synchronize properly until after my live premiere. So therefore, sometimes you'll say the timestamps aren't working, but they are. All right. Hey, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Lori Lothy, and I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac and the whole sign house system. And I love the fixed stars and minor asteroids. I put up to 20 to 30 videos out every single month, all signs delineations for the most part. Please try out my channel and give me a chance to see what you think of that kind of content. And the only promotion I have going is you want to win a free reading with me. Some free courses, my 2024 All Signs video bundle that's only for sale right now. If you want to win those prizes, come aboard my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter in the month of May. I'm celebrating 60,000 subscribers. And by being on that newsletter, you're now privileged to win various contests. Once a week throughout the month of May, I'll be holding a contest for newsletter subscribers only. Okay, so let's get started. I'm trying to honor Venus today by wearing some emeraldy green earrings. And I am literally in summer mode because we have a beautiful sunny day in the Canadian city of Vancouver where I live. So I love the fact that it feels like summer is finally here. Okay, so first thing I want to mention here, guys, the very first thing I want to say is Venus is invisible. And I'll be showing you the sky, breaking this down into a little bit more detail. But because we cannot see her, because she's so close to the sun, we call that combust. Now, technically, Venus, as she's getting closer and closer to Jupiter, is really not outpictured very well yet. So when I say we're going to have luck, harmony, and beauty, and goodness, and happiness, and the Jupiter-Venus connection together, yes, and. The and is, well, she's not visible to our naked eye because she's so close to the sun. We may not see the full outpicturing until July when she becomes visible again in the sky. So we might say to ourselves, okay, there's a seed for luck here. At the end of this transit around let's go from the 21st to the 23rd, or maybe the 20th to the 23rd of the month of May, the end of her transit through her earthy, home, sensuous, lovely, artistic, and creative kingdom of Taurus, the bull. So we can say, yes, there's luck there. And some of us may on the day feel some major breakthrough that's very lucky, fortunate, harmonious, and happy. But we may have to consider her proximity to the sun a debility in terms of bringing the goodness to us directly in the shorter term, right? So just keep that in mind. Technically, an invisible Venus isn't bad. She's just not showing outer pictures outwardly of what she's offering us. It's kind of like she's doing backroom secret plantings of all the good things. We're also going to talk about this with Venus. I want to mention that she is a morning star Venus. Venus has been in a morning star iteration since she went into the heart of the sun in the sign of Leo on the 13th of August last summer. And a morning star Venus is a Venus who is the goddess associated with war in the ancient traditions. And therefore, you might want to consider that as she moved into that inferior conjunction to the sun, between the Earth and the Sun, as she was retrograding last August 13th, she began to become more of a warmongering version of herself. And of course, we know what happened in October 7th of 2024. Venus will leave her morning star storyline on June the 4th when she has a superior conjunction to the sun. So we can't see her. She's on the other side of the sun, up between the Earth and the sun. She's on the other side. She's going direct, and then she will be born again as the peace-loving, demure, and quite gentle energy of a Venus evening star. So I want to say, this idea, can she bring peace in the sign of Taurus? Well, she's invisible and she's a morning star until June the 4th. She does become visible in July. It is my humble opinion that any lasting peace of any kind to do with the Middle East or any other wars in the world are not very likely until after she becomes born again on June the 4th at 14 degrees of Gemini, and then takes the time it takes. It'll be about a month. In the month of July, we'll begin to see her in the sky again as she moves away from the sun, and we can say, okay, maybe now we'll get some peace in this world. Humbly, my opinion. Ceasefires are not peace. They're temporary conditions of truce or cessation of hostilities. I'm talking about real peace. All right, something else I wanted to mention is Venus is a planetary war according to Indian astrology. I like to also talk about what the Vedic or Indian astrology has to say about these sorts of things, in the sense that, well, modern astrology would put those two benefics, being Venus, the lesser benefic, and Jupiter the greater, which is fairy godmother, fairy godfather, joining hands, to be nothing but positive. In India, they would consider these two are at war with each other because they're conjunct, and technically they're not even friends. So they don't really necessarily get along in their ancient tradition. So it may not always be as good as we would like it to be, but for the most part, as I said, happiness, money, love, harmony, and luck, those are very, very common energies of both Jupiter and Venus. And when they combine forces, it's excellent. Now, I mean, certainly if you fell in love with somebody under this conjunction, or you met somebody for the first time on a date, it certainly could bake in a really powerful energy here. But you can also just fall in love with life, just fall in love with life under this energy. Certainly a beautiful time. And we haven't seen this since 12 years ago. I'm going to give you the date just in a minute, but well, I can tell you, we're talking about the conjunction in Taurus, right? Certainly Jupiter and Venus co-join every single year in a different sign. And so March the 2nd of 2023, they did co-join, but Jupiter was not yet in the sign of Taurus. So that would have been the Aries conjunction. So this is what we want to look at. I'm going to go back and tell you the exact date this happened in Taurus 12 years ago. Before I do, sometimes I like to think, what kinds of people are born with a Venus-Jupiter conjunction? Who are these people? And I thought, let me figure that out. And so I went scoping down some famous people, and I got Henry Winkler. And that kind of made me smile, because, he's kind of famous for the role of Vinny or Vince in the Olivia Newton-John story Grease, right? In the movie Grease, and really Venus and Jupiter can be very much that over-the-top love story, that larger-than-life love. So as I said, if you meet somebody new under this energy, you just might fall madly, beautifully, 100% in love with somebody, and they with you as well. Garth Brooks, the country and western singer, has this conjunction. We don't know the signs, of course. I'm not giving you that kind of detail. John Belushi, the comedian. My list is in front of me. Who else? Steven Spielberg. So those are just some people born with this conjunction. Just also think they may be very lucky with this conjunction, right? Might bring very positive energy in their life of having an incredible amount of good fortune or luck in general. Now, I'm going to tell you the exact date. the exact date this happened before. Maybe we can all go back and go, oh, Jupiter and Venus and Taurus 12 years ago. What kind of things spit out of that for me? And remembering maybe not the day of, because the Sun and Venus are often really close together. And so she may have been invisible on the day of it 12 years ago, but I'm going to give you the date right now. So I got some data for us, guys. I'm data driven, and I want to say something about astrology. It's no use to you if you don't look at cycles, right? There are all kinds of repeating cycles. Jupiter co-joining Uranus happened in 1941. The United States went to war. Pearl Harbor happened after that. So, I like to make comparisons to other things that have happened before. It is kind of interesting that when somebody made a gnarly comment on one of my shorts that I'm trying to be famous or self-important because I said Jupiter Uranus could lead to World War III, based on the fact that Jupiter Uranus conjunct in Taurus led to World War II, or the United States involvement in World War II. It's historical comparisons, cycles within cycles within cycles, like a spiral of time. And here are your dates. Write them down. I didn't go too far back. I went back to 1976. This happened on May the 11th at 10 degrees of Taurus. Some of you may have planets in Taurus, right? Or especially your sun, moon, or rising, especially the Taurian people, you're feeling this big time. Certainly all of the people who are angular to Taurus. Okay, so it's the Taurus Scorpio axis it's activated. So Taurus people, Scorpio people, and then squaring at Aquarius people and Leo people. You're feeling it. You guys are getting a lot of this energy. So it is more critical to you. It is more up in your face in some way, in a positive way when this happens. Other signs get a nice flow. Of course, if you're an earth sign, Cap or Virgo, it's a nice flow to you. You're really enjoying the ride. You're quite happy. No complaints there. And certainly you also kind of feel like sweet touches with it, or a little love for the Cancers and the Pisces, in which you're sextile to this event. Probably least impacted of all are the Aries rising sun and moon, the Gemini rising sun, moon, and rising signs. You guys are semi-sextile, or in the ancient tradition, in an inversion or one house away. It may not impact you as greatly. Similarly, you Sag rising sun and moon, you may not really feel the excitement of this goodness at all, or very little of it, as same to the Libra sun, moon, and rising. So you're least impacted, right? Let's go through that again. Sag and Libra and Aries and Gemini, sun, moon, and risings may feel this the least. Radically transformed in a positive way, of course, Aquarius and Leo and Scorpio and Taurus especially, loving it in a flowing and graceful way. The Capricorns, because you're flowing in a trine to it, the Virgos flowing in a trine, and the sextile energies from the Pisces sun, moon, and rising people, of course, and the Cancer sun, moon, and rising sign. So keep that in mind. Now let's go back to the dates, alrighty? The dates. May 11th of 1976 at 10 degrees of Taurus. May the 17th, 2000 at 20 degrees of Taurus, Jupiter and Venus co-joined. March the 14th of 2012 at 9 degrees of Taurus. And here we are again on the 23rd of March, 2024, and we'll get this 12 years from now. So there's really an average lifespan, right? You're going to have not five. Let's say, I'm going 12 into the average 70-year-old, but anyway, 6 or 7 or 8 of these maybe a maximum in the average lifespan in the sign of Taurus. Okay, so let's talk about what might have happened back then. Can you guys remember? Now I'm an Aquarius rising, so it is impacting me in my 4th house, so whole sign 4th house. So it's a very big deal, and should have something to do with home, land, property, and real estate, or things to do with, the mother or the family of origin. When I think back to some of those things that may have happened during that time, I mean, in 1976, I was about 14 years old. And so I really don't have anything in my memory about some homeland, property, real estate thing, although it's possible. Was that when my dad built the rec room and we had more space in the house? No, that was when I was younger. So I'm not sure, because Jupiter can expand the 4th house. But also in May 17th, or just say May of 2000, the year 2000, what was initiated here? You could argue that Venus and Jupiter are bringing a stroke of luck in that part of your chart until next year's conjunction in the next sign, which is Gemini. And so you might say synodic cycle-wise, it could behold us a year of success in that part of the chart. So when I look at 2000 for me, May to like 2001, what was happening in my world and what was happening in your world if you're an Aquarius, I'm trying to make stories up to show you how this stuff works. So 2000 to 2001, spring, May to May, what was I up to? Oh. I remember what it was. So this is what I love about astrology. If you really start to think about it, you start to put the pieces together, like, with your brain, with your mind, with your historical data collection, you come up with some realizations. So the what I'm looking at back in 2000, May of 2000 to 2001, 2000 to 2001, I traveled to Scotland to go to Findhorn and then experience, a very exotic getaway with my mother. This is in the house of the mother. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with your fourth house? Venus is a ruler of my ninth house of foreign lands, the Libra part of the sky. I will be delineating this kind of thing for you in the all signs, because then it really did repeat that in 2012, March the 14th to 2013, there was a similar element to do with not only foreign travel and also Scotland, but getting married in Scotland, and Venus and Jupiter are very wedding bells. So you can look at this as well through the lens of the ruler, Venus, of what houses she rules, and maybe Jupiter as well, but certainly Venus. So again, the other thing about this is that it is a repeating cycle every year in a different sign. It's a little stroke of luck. I think it goes for the whole year. I think that this energy of happiness, harmony, peace, money, wealth, goodness, prosperity, luck happens to be when the conjunction happens at 12 months. And then there's another cycle in another one of your whole sign 12 houses. So that's my theory. I'm sticking with it. We'll be diving into then Venus's rulerships in your chart to see where other than the fourth house this plays out. That's her Libra home as well. And she's in great dignity in Taurus as she conjuncts Jupiter. She's in her home kingdom. She has strength. And that lends it to more like he follows her bidding. Like if I'm staying in your house, right? If I'm visiting you for real and Jupiter's visiting her house with Uranus, right? Haven't seen that combination for a while, making this even more powerful, exciting, and exhilarating than what we saw back in these 76, 2000, 2012 stories. If I'm a house guest in your house, I'm trying to please you. Can I take out the garbage? Do you want me to wash the dishes? Should I water the plants? And this is what's happening here. Jupiter is like, okay, Venus, I'm loving hanging out in your Taurus kingdom since May last year. I think it was around May 18th. And Uranus is here. Wow, this guy's exciting, exhilarating, unexpected, freedom-loving energies. That's the crypto thing. Uranus in this part of the chart has been the escalation and de-escalation of the crypto market since 2018, because Venus in Taurus and Taurus itself is currencies. And then we have Jupiter expanding the crypto. We've had a crypto rebound as Jupiter and Uranus have been coming together in the sky, dead-headed for that April 2021 perfection, but we've been feeling it for like the last 5 weeks. So, and I'm recording on April the 19th, the last 2 months even, as they've been coming closer and closer together. Okay, so there's those thoughts. Now let's also bring in another layer. Let's also playfully bring in a couple layers. One, good old Renn Butler's The Archetypal Universe, my favorite book. And in this cookbook of excellence, he says the following things. Venus, Jupiter, feelings of grand happiness, enjoyment, positive and supportive relationships, gorgeous and expansive beauty, expressive taste, style, and the glory of love. The shadow would be rich in living, indulgence, social ambition, snobbery, a gaudy and overblown aesthetic, habitual laziness. Okay, but he's got some great quotes. Samuel Johnson was born with a Venus. Samuel Johnson was born with a Venus conjunct Jupiter, and the quote from him is, "It is better to live rich than to die rich." And there you have that excessiveness of like enjoying life, enjoying the pleasure, taking it to the ultimate maximum level of excitement and expression. Any other good quotes from him? It's roses, roses all the way. Robert Browning with a Venus-Jupiter conjunction, the poet Robert Browning. I think it's a poet. It was roses, roses, roses all the way. And the beautiful things that adorn the world, someone named Santayana, Venus conjunct Jupiter. And then a shadow quality from Tammy Faye Baker. Remember the mascara girl, the wife of the preacher? And she'd always be on the TV with these big mascara, well, eyes, but she'd cry and she'd get these like spider eyes. Well, anyway, Tammy Faye Baker has a quote, and she's born with a Venus trine Jupiter. I always say shopping is cheaper than the psychiatrist. Alrighty. So you're getting a vibe, right? You're getting a vibe. Now, I also would say to you, what is the Sabian symbol for this? This conjunction is happening on the 23rd, just as Venus gets ready to enter the sign of Gemini. And the conjunction is happening at 29 degrees of Taurus. It's what we call an anaretic degree. It's about turbulence, completions, intensity. Don't forget, we also have Jupiter there. And Uranus there giving us the unexpected, the shocking, and the exciting. I don't know what to call this video really. Maybe unexpected, shocking, happy surprises or something. All right, so Venus. So we're going to jump up to the 30th degree. You always round up in Sabians. And so it's the 30th degree. And there are only 30 degrees in a sign, 30 degrees of Taurus. And the Sabian symbol, in Elsie Willer channeled this, and then one channeled say for every one of the 30 degrees of the signs, and therefore 360 degrees of the wheel. This is the Sabian Symbols, A Screen of Prophecy by Diana E. Roche. And what she says about this last degree of Taurus is the following. She says, two cobblers working at a table. Oh, no, zip. She says, Taurus 30, not 29, a peacock parading on an ancient lawn. A peacock parading on an ancient lawn. Keyword aloofness. All right. So this symbol speaks to pride in accomplishment, the importance of honoring or recognizing even the smallest achievements of an individual, ideals of others manifested in one individual, colorful displays of attention-getting devices encourage or motivates those individuals toward achievement. And sometimes these superficial signals of achievement and success. Okay, at the highest, most positive expression, she suggests that this symbol represents poise, presence, and a natural gift for dramatizing and exalting the highest and best of society or astute historical insight, and the ability to profit from the failures and successes of others. In its most negative, it's vanity, narcissism, pretentiousness, haughtiness. Okay. All right. Anything else I want to say? Okay. I just would like to add one more thing before we do your sign. Oops. I almost stopped the recording. Yeeks. Venus is conjunct two really powerful stars, Alcion and Mirfak. Now, this is going to lend a kind of energy behind Venus as she comes into contact with Jupiter, because Venus and Jupiter are on Alcion and Mirfak at the time of this particular conjunction. They are close behind, or the stars are close behind them. So Alcion is something that is really closely aligned, like very tightly connected to this conjunction. So let me describe what this software in my package talks about when it says Alcion. Let's go Alcion Venus, Alcion, and Jupiter. Okay, so it's one of the Pleiadian stars of the seven sisters constellations of the Pleiades. It can bestow loyalty and great success. Keywords are to take charge of your own fate and show commitment, high level of sensitivity. You can advocate for the suffering, and you can manage strong emotion. So I'm taking that as a powerful star of success. You can be basically connected to advocating for the suffering of others. And I like that because we certainly have a lot of people suffering in the Middle East right now. And it has a connection to being able to take charge of your own life and your own fate, so to speak, if that's even possible. I mean, we have to say, is that even possible? But if you can take charge of your fate, we could do it. And then we want to talk about Mirfak. Now, Mirfak is a star I use quite a bit in my astrology practice. It's a chief star of the constellation Perseus. Now, Perseus is the champion or the rescuing hero archetype of Greek or ancient mythology. He was the one who slayed the Medusa, cut her head off, that kind of thing. So basically, and Medusa was the monster who turned men to stone. She was a Gorgon, but he's normally considered a good guy. And it says the keywords that she says in the software, he does, Roderick Kidston says about this is following. Likes a good cause. Life is a mission physical prowess, emotion and imagination, and the part I really like, can electrify, lights up others, a powerhouse star. Electrifies and lights up others, a powerhouse star. Where in your life do you need to electrify others and light up others and be a powerhouse person in your own reality? You know, it's funny, there's another star called Electra really close by as well, but Electra doesn't have a delineation in my software. So Mirfak and Alcion are at the back end of this conjunction. We have, as I already mentioned, we already talked about the idea of the Sabian symbol, of the peacock on the ancient lawn. And we talked about the past, 1976, 2000, 2012, and now 2024 is back again. So I encourage all of you to think about May of 1976, add a year, May of 2000, add a year, March of 2012, add a year. Now here we go again, add a year, because there's a baking in of an essence of something positive in the Taurus part of your sky that lasts about a year until Jupiter meets with Venus meets with Jupiter in the next sign, which should be Gemini, and we start that cycle every 12 years. Okay. All righty, we're going to open up the chart so you can see it. A lot of you are learners of astrology and knowledgeable at that. And I like to show you what I'm seeing so that you can participate in the sky. When it comes to your sign, we'll be going through the conjunction to Jupiter, as well as a couple other very exciting and positive things that she manages to pull off. But we'll be doing, if you subscribe to my channel, you're going to get a weekly video every Monday, and I will cover all of the micronutia of Venus's journey through her home kingdom. Okay, so let's get going. It's already cued to see the end of the journey, right, where this conjunction happens. I'm going to pull us back to earlier on, actually, when she starts her ingress into the sign of, ingress meaning entry into the sign of Taurus. So there she's hopped over the border from Aries, where she was in her detriment. You want to get a lasting peace in the world. This is your mundane 10-minute portion. It ain't happening with a morning star in the sign of war. All right, with an eclipse and a wounded healer there. Honestly, anyone can say that's very not likely to bring peace to the Middle East. And I'm recording this on, as I said, April the 19th, and we've seen the escalation between Iran and Israel. We've seen the U.S. veto a resolution to create to recognize Palestine as a state. The only country to veto it, and of course, word on the street is the United States agreed to put the veto in if Israel agreed to not create World War III in its response to the Iran bombardment, which was a reaction to Israel bombing a consulate building that is actually sovereign territory of Iran in Damascus, Syria. So when you go tit for tat, you know what I mean? And eye for eye for an eye, for a nose, for a mouth, for a tooth, it never stops, right? It just never go. It's like, can I just say it's like little boys in the playground? Like, it's ridiculous. I think what would happen, honestly, if women who didn't get into power and politics in a man's world, because then you have to become a female acting like a male, or like whatever, a masculine energy, then, you know, we might actually not have war. We would be working it out over, like, I don't know, insight wine nights or something, or, you know, book club nights or something. Yeah. So bottom line is, at the point that I'm recording the video on April the 19th, it looks like a de-escalation anyway, because the response from Israel was quite moderate, and therefore they got what they wanted. The U.S. veto on the Palestine is a state resolution, perhaps, if that's true. So we're done with that. But what I'm trying to say is, until April the 29th, we're still got a Venus and not in a good condition, right? In the sign of her exile or debility. She doesn't like being in the kingdom of war. It's not her natural happy place. This is where you get characters like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where Angelina Jolie is a spy and she's whacking, trying to kill her husband. Or you get stories of Bonnie and Clyde, like, you know, Bonnie being very much a masculine warrior energy. Or if you ever watched, I just watched that show with Jimmy and Kim, the precursor to Breaking Bad. And she says Bonnie Clyde's sidekick, Jimmy and Kim, in what's the precursor to Breaking Bad, guys? Oh, I just watched the whole series. What is it? It'll come to me. So women acting like warriors, women acting manly, women acting tomboy-like, these are Venus Aries energies. And when we're talking about Venus as a morning star, when she's in a condition in which she would rather maybe hang out with the guys in the Valhalla warriors in the beer hall than she would get down with a peace treaty, that's where we've been stuck. We've been stuck with that problem. And Mars himself, who can be a noble warrior, has been debilitated, or not debilitated, but weakly swimming through the Piscean Sea, hitting walls and bridges with his boat, Saturn. So hardship with water. So Mars hasn't been very strong either. So, what I want to mention here for the world before we do your sign is that positivity is not only does Venus cross into the sign of Taurus, but Mars on March the 30th goes right after her, April the 30th, and he's a noble warrior in the sign of war when he's doing his best. She's a Venus peace lover in the sign of her kingdom doing her best. Again, we need to get her born out of her warrior morning star, in my opinion, on June the 4th. Give her time to get out of the beams of the sun as the peace-loving evening star, which is going to put us into the month of July. But it is very possible with Mars moving April 30th into Aries, possible, and Venus in Taurus, we may see an extended ceasefire agreement. Now, people say, oh, Hamas keeps turning down the ceasefire arrangements. Would you agree to a 6-week ceasefire in which the only thing you're going to do is pause the nonstop bombardment, the destruction of civilian infrastructure, the raid of Gaza, the raid of the Rafah Gaza stuff? It's not an end, it's a pause. It's like, let's get some food in there and feed everybody before we start killing everybody again. I mean, nobody would agree to that. You wouldn't agree to that. If you had a bunch of people who you were hostages in your home and you were like, and outside, people were bombing you and bombing the neighborhood and killing people, and destruction was everywhere around you. And they said, oh, wait, well, let's have a ceasefire for like 5 weeks, and we'll bring some food in, and we'll bring some supplies. Oh, some medical supplies, no hospitals, no doctors, but certainly we can bring you some Band-Aids. And then you'll give us all the people in the house, right? Like, you're going to give us those people back. Forget that there's 7,000 or 9,000 Palestinian prisoners scooped up from the West Bank. We call those hostages too. And then we're giving you Band-Aids and some foods, and we're like, we're not bombing you on the constant, and you're giving those people back. But then, by the way, 6 weeks later, we're bombing you again. What the hell? Nobody in the right mind would agree to that. Nobody in the right mind would agree. You wouldn't agree to that. You know that you give these people up in your house, and then you've got some food and maybe, some peace of mind for 6 weeks, and then boom, it's all back again. Okay? All right. Like, anyone in that situation would not say, yeah, that's a great agreement. There's no win-win there. All right, moving forward. I do not condone October 7th. All right, there, I said it. 1976, 2000, 2012, 2024. Venus and Jupiter came together in Taurus. This never occurred with Uranus co-present. This brings the element of unexpected, exhilarating, sudden, and shocking surprises. We seem to have the asteroid Lucifer tracking closely in this story with Uranus, with Jupiter. What could this tracking of Uranus with the asteroid Lucifer mean? Lucifer is a rebellious angel who is full of pride and was cast down from heaven because of it. We could say on the dark side of this energy, which is connected to Venus, because Lucifer is called the morning star, and Venus is in her morning star iteration, that Lucifer, the rebel angel who was prideful and arrogant and rebellious and didn't want to follow the rules of heaven, was cast down or out of heaven. The fallen angel, that maybe there will be a fall from some rebellious, prideful, and arrogant energy connected to what? World leaders. Sun. The sun is coming through here. It's like the Icarus energy all over again. So we shall see. But when Venus is moving through the sign of Taurus, she's trying to smooth things out. So maybe it won't be so bad. In the world, the nation of Iran is a Leo rising. Therefore, Taurus is its 10th house. Now, everyone's worried that Iran is going to get really, really gnarly and do a bunch of damage towards Israel, but I don't think that's true. Iran does not want a war. They do not want a war. They do not want a war. They do not want a war. What they did not want is somebody bombing their sovereign consulate. Israel has historically assassinated people. that are Iranian, okay? Like find a general somewhere and assassinate him when he's out of the country, or kill a nuclear scientist because he's working on uranium enrichment. So instead of actually going to war directly with Iran, Israel has continually just done assassinations, and this was a last straw, I guess. And so then Iran is like, we're going to stand up for ourselves and show the world that we can do that. A political analyst commented that it is the end of the United States power in the Middle East because of what has just happened, because other countries in the Middle East have refused to allow United States weapons or support for Israel across its flight path, across its national flight territory above its country, and that there's an energy here of the dishevelment or the falling apart of the United States' power here as a result of what Israel did by bombing the embassy or the consulate building, followed by what's happened since then. All right, so there you go. I'm bringing up that I think Iran will not do much because Venus is a goddess of peace moving into the 10th house, which is the leaders of Iran, both the political leadership, maybe the religious leadership, because it's a theocratic nation, and there will not be a desire likely for creating war. So I doubt that Iran will persist in causing any escalation of tensions at this time. At this time, meaning April 29th through to May the 23rd. The United States is a Sagittarius rising. That means that this is happening in the house of the workforce and the workday people, working world, and the health of the people, and things can improve in the economy or the work world, or maybe the health of the people during this time with sudden unexpected, maybe some good economic news, surprisingly. And also, Libra rising is Israel. This is why Libra rising is connected. Libra rising is connected to Venus. It's her other sign. And with Venus in her debility as she moved through the sign of Aries and also through the house of open enemies for Israel, this has lent itself to a lack of peace with regards to anything Israel is willing or able to negotiate. And they would have been unable to receive a Venus in the house of open enemies. Peace treaties were seen as difficult and challenging rather than acceptable and positive during that time. So again, maybe the Israeli sentiment will change. Certainly they want their hostages back, which ones haven't been bombed to smithereens like the rest of the Palestinians. Okay, enough of world politics, except one more thing. Joe Biden's under a lot of debility with a Pluto, solar arc Pluto square his moon, a real-time Pluto square his moon. Well, solar arc Pluto's doing something to his moon, opposite his moon. Also, the eclipse that just happened last October on his moon. But Venus is going to cross over the moon. The first thing that happens is Venus comes into the 0 degrees of Taurus on the 23rd, squares Pluto. And Pluto is traveling as well with the asteroid America, if I remember correctly. And let's put that in there. And I think there's a Joe Biden story percolating on this time frame of April the 29th. So let's add the asteroid America, because Joe Biden's moon is getting, and so is King Charles's moon, getting connected to this Venus transit. What's different about it, because it happens, to be kind of rare, you have to go back to 2012, as I said, or 2000. Year 2000 is that Uranus unexpected surprising energy. All right. Yes. So there is the asteroid America traveling with Pluto, and this is going to be an energizing energy of something happening perhaps around the 29th and the 30th. So I would predict it like this. As Venus ingresses into, this is for my video guy. I have a big, bold prediction. Venus is entering the home kingdom of Taurus, her home sign, on April the 29th, 2024, to meet up with Jupiter in a way we haven't seen since 2012 and before that 2000. But on the political front, Venus is going to bump right on into the moon of both King Charles and the moon of Joe Biden, as she also comes into a square with asteroid America and the planet Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. Big stories coming up that may surprise us. That's the Uranus piece in the sign of Taurus about those leaders. And because it's Venus, it may involve the word female or woman, stepping into power, connecting into a greater level of power. Let's see what happens. I'm going to be suggesting Joe's getting ready to step down in the month of May anyway. Maybe we're going to see something about a female rising to power. Maybe not even Joe, maybe the opposite party, but it will connect to both King Charles and Joe Biden's stories pretty well for sure. That's just the thing for my guy. Let's go back to this story here for you guys. My video editor might like that one. So anything else I want to tell you? No, let's get rolling. There are some micro stories along the way. I'm going to highlight them here. I'm doing all signs videos on them, but for those astrologers there, we might want to pay attention if you're interested into about the asteroids that are hooking up with Venus as she travels through the sign of Taurus. On May the 4th, she is going to come into contact with Juno, the goddess of partnership. Now, Juno is about what we wish to vow, to agree to, and commit to. And often it is about marriage vows, right? Commitment vows, but it also can be about breaking those vows. But in a trine, it's not a break. It's a connection to committing more deeply to some agreements, vows, contracts of some sort, even business partnerships. We're seeing that tighter and more positive connection going on around May the 4th, because Juno is about agreements that we will commit to, and Venus is about peace. There is a possibility for a significant peace treaty, in my humble opinion, around May the 4th, give or take 2 or 3 days on either side. Wouldn't that be amazing if something like that were to happen? In the United States Sibly chart, Juno is sitting in the 4th house of the home and homeland, but the opposing party, the party that is the opposite of the one in power, and that could indicate that there is pressure from the Republicans or something, and Joe Biden stories, and to make some kind of commitments or agreements. But also Venus trining Juno can look like a female running mate for a political partner rising to power now, or Kamala Harris taking over because Joe Biden is not doing well physically, all right, or mentally. And that's all around May the 4th. And as this thing moves forward, then we're going to see May the 10th, Vesta, the sacred flame of devotion and religious nuttery. These were like nuns, monks, and priests, right? It's a vestal flame of some spiritual devotion. You must keep the Roman peace by, doing the candle lighting on the daily. So the vestal flame is in the part of the sky we call Cancer, the temple of the moon. And Venus is beginning to, on May 8th and 9th, come into a really nice or intense, by the 10th, she's exactly sextile the vestal flame. Now, the goddess of peace is deeply invisible under the beams of the sun. We can't see her yet, and she's still a morning star, but she's getting ready to die. She is in her chariot. She is in her home kingdom, so she is protected from the sun's beams, but she's still not visible. And yet, in the 10th house, we would see in the nation of Israel, the 10th house of the leaders, the political party in charge, the nation's leadership. And there may be some ability to come to some term of agreement, fulfillment of an agreement around potentially peace. But this is also for Israel, the 8th house, where things are secret or hidden. So maybe a secret or hidden peace deal is trying to be cobbled out behind the scenes, perhaps, and may involve the coffers or the economy or the stock markets regarding Israel's state of being, and some desire to create some kind of resolution around May the 10th. On May the 13th, Venus will sextile or flow in an auspicious manner to Saturn in the sign of her exaltation. Venus has a special VIP pass when she goes into Jupiter's Piscean home. And so she has an affinity for that place and she likes it there. And you could argue that therefore Saturn is looking over at Venus from a place of her exaltation, and they're having a convo that might look like, what do we need to stabilize or put into a long-lasting structure around love, peace, and money? And that is a story that may connect to things that had to do with hardship at war, such as the Houthis and such as the Red Sea and stuff, and the Mediterranean, the building of a dock. I just heard today that there's a contingent from Istanbul, Turkey, bringing a bunch private citizens packed up a big barge full of stuff to help the Gazans, you know? So maybe the end of hardship at sea, as Venus, the goddess of peace, wants to bring something to the land or the shore, because this is Taurus, and from the seas, and that could look like the finalization around May the 13th of that pier or whatever the Department of Defense or Pentagon was trying to build to get some supplies to to Gaza, which is dumb. Just open up the trucks at the border. Or maybe something else going on where hardship at sea is coming to an even keel or a closure of some kind. Whatever hardship is happening at sea at the time, we can see some endings there on May 13th. I'm only using the Gaza story instead of like Taiwan or Uganda or something, because it is the one that could lead to World War III, right? So we got to focus on the big story right now. I will do videos about the elections, about all the candidates, even about my beleaguered country and the dictator known as Pierre Trudeau, son, not son. Son, not son. If you don't know what I mean, oh well. Oh my God. Trudeau, Justin Trudeau. All right, moving forward. Then we're seeing May 17th. What's going to happen on May 17th is a beautiful, gorgeous fire trine. I'm going to do that in my weekly video. It's so lovely. Earth trine in the sky can bring harvest and completion of things with Ceres up here, or fruitfulness and bounty from the past. She's retrograde, connected to your Virgo part of your sky, connected to your Taurus part of your sky. This is a lovely time, May 17th, 2 or 3 days on either side. In my all signs video, I'm going to break that down for each sign. And then we continue forward, and she's coming on May the 23rd into her connection, right, to Jupiter. And there you see it. They're conjunct here. This is happening around May the 23rd. And as the hours go by and as time goes by, she will cross over here around 2:30 p.m. on May the 23rd in Pacific daily time into the sign of Gemini, and she's trying to catch up to the sun on June the 4th, where she will be born again as the evening star in a superior conjunction to the sun and bless us in that part of the sky for 4 years with stories that she wishes to create until she comes into the heart of the sun next time in Gemini retrograde, as that will be her different way of birthing herself back into a warrior star. All right, so let's get going and talk about your sign. Listen for your rising sign. It is you being born, and the eastern horizon and the western tropical zodiac, and what was lined up that by the degree and sign. So it's particular to two people born within 2 hours of you at the same geographical location, more or less latitude. Whereas your moon sign belongs to everyone born 2.5 days of your time of birth, within 2.5 days, and the sun sign to everybody born in the same month as you. So even if you just look at the intimacy factor of the ascendant, it's more likely to be more accurate or precise. But yet all three can be used. I explained by earlier, but I'll say it again. Sun, purpose and career, father figures. Moon, mother figures, home and body. Okay. And sometimes the mind, how you think about your life. Material successes, fated circumstances of your life. All right. I'm going to go and do all signs. Let's get started with Aries, and then we'll do all the way through the wheel. And we're focused on this lucky Jupiter, Venus spark with Alcion there. Yay, Alcion. And Mirfak, two powerful stars that I delineated earlier. Also reminding you that this is going to be something that could play out more visibly in July as Venus becomes visible. And now, we can see her in the sky to deliver the goodness, but also maybe over the next year. Okay, so I remind you again, May of 1976, add a year, May of 2000, add a year, March of 2012, add a year. So each of these synodic conjunctions can indicate a kind of stamped in energetic field for a year after the conjunction. Let's get started on all signs. Okay, guys, let's talk about this. For you, Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign, Once a year, Venus goes through the sign of Taurus, but not once a year does she connect with Jupiter in Taurus, let alone Uranus. In a way, this is a first in a lifetime. I have to say that was probably the way I should have started the video, because to have all of this here at one time is extremely rare. So Venus connecting here, first in a lifetime with Jupiter, and Jupiter is going to bring something into your story that probably, with a surprising element, will look like, over the course of 1 year, unexpected, positive, happy outcomes in your wealth, your money, your resources, your savings, and your earnings. Let's talk about the second house. It's also your facial appearance, maybe your hair, your jaw, your teeth, and you may radically beautify yourself in a brand new way. You might have that nose job, that blue hair dye, some kind of super different veneers on steroids, diamonds in your teeth. I don't know, something wild here. Tats all over your body, but they're beautiful. A shocking, surprising upgrade to your facial appearance. On the other hand, it does indicate prosperity. And for all of you, Aries sun, moon, especially rising, you're going to be doing very well financially over the course of the next year. I am an Aries sun and I am an Aries moon. The sun can be my career and purpose, right? And when I go back to think about my earning structures in 2012, March, when this last happened, and I introduced the beginning, the other dates that this happened, 1976, 2000, 2012. In March of 2012 to 2013, I got hired to work on 2 different online magazines, and my earnings surprisingly popped up. Well, there wasn't a surprise. There was no Uranus. My earnings increased. And in 2000 to 2001, May to May, my business as a psychic reader also increased. It went up, and I was thriving as a result of that. So you can look towards not just an up level or financial thrival for yourself, where your resources and financial needs are more than met, but you're also going to find that some of it is surprising, because we do have that synodic cycle of Jupiter and Uranus that are kickstarting a 14-year cycle of surprising prosperity and bounty. This little mini Venus cycle gives you a lot of extra edge over the next 12 months from this March 23rd conjunction. Not too bad, Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Because Venus is the ruler of the Libra part of your sky, which is the house of marriage and business partners and audience. We do have a south node here, but it can indicate a massive change in a massive influence about what happens in that 7th house. Some of you here, Jupiter, Uranus, could get married over the course of a year. Some of you could have a brand new and very positive, committed love story start, new business partnership, or something connected to a very powerful new way of reaching out to your audience and marketplace. But I would say your audience and marketplace, 10th house from your 10th, also has a south node element, which is what you're letting go of in that part of your business may surprise you, or your audience outreach or your client outreach, okay? And yet you're prospering nonetheless. As I sit with this, I could also say for each sign to some degree that Jupiter would say, because he's the ruler, I don't think I'm delineating Jupiter necessarily, because it's going to take me forever. Venus is the faster moving planet and the stronger planet, and Jupiter's just taking her orders. But if Jupiter had any say in the story, he'd also say, over the next year, some positive, lucky things could show up from this conjunction. Let's do that for each sign. Connected to your 9th house of foreign shores, foreign lands, travel, and legal affairs, and book publishing, as well as to your 12th house of foreign revenue generated from foreign shores, foreign lands, and foreign places. So on the fly, I've decided to cover the phalanges of what Jupiter is in charge of in your chart as well. Oops. I went too far ahead. Give me a sec. I want to move it into the other house system. I always forget to change it. Sigh. We want to get that into the other house system. Let me edit it. I had it pegged at 0 Aries, which was not what I wanted. Whole sign. So Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. What happens? Oh, May 24th. I want to be a day earlier. What happens? Oh my God, I'm sorry, guys. I have no idea what it's doing. Okay. Venus and Jupiter are now coming together like they did in spring of 96, 76, 2000, 2012. Now they're back again in 2024 in the sign of Taurus. This is going to be a lucky break for you, a positive and even surprising, exhilarating, thanks to Uranus experience. So wait, I got to go to Taurus. My time-stamping sister is going to kill me. Sorry, guys, it's just the software, and I'm not paying attention to where it jumped to. Taurus, 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 sun, moon, and rising. And this is going to be a lucky break for you. You are lucky. You are Taurus. Your sun, your career is lucky. The moon, your home and nest is lucky. Your body's lucky. Your health is lucky. Moon, career, purpose, father figures are lucky, okay, in your life, sun. So remember the difference. But rising sign, you are just all global, all purpose, lucky as all hell. And you're also going to be magnanimous and charming and super sweet. And I think where you're going to end up is you're going to end up in a place where you feel good about life. This next year, the keywords are you're going to feel something sweet is happening to you. You may be more physically attractive. You may like your body more. You may be more Mr. Miss Congeniality. People want to be around you. You have you have 2 4-leaf clovers in your hair. All right, so things are looking good. It's auspicious as hell. I mean, go back to 76, add a year, May of 2000, add a year, March of 2012, add a year. How did you feel about you being you? Now, good news about this is that Venus is also the ruler of your 6th house. And that means better health outcomes, less sickness, luck with pets, tenancies, and rentals over the next 12 months, and possibly very good luck when it comes to job and work situations. And Jupiter, he is the ruling planet, the boss of the houses Pisces and Sag. For your Pisces house, it's your 11th house of good spirit. This is where you could have extraordinary positive developments in new social groups, friendship circles, and allies and friends and benefactors. A new lucky windfall. It's a house of pennies from heaven, greater career gains, salary increases, raises and promotions, and really positive things can happen here. And it comes to the actualization of some of your wishes and dreams as fairy godmother, father are activating your 11th house. Jupiter also can say to you, because he's the ruler of your chunky money house, some of this power positive energy comes from the bestowment of money. It could be money given to you from a female or mother figure, but it could also be an inheritance from a female or a male. It doesn't really matter. It's just the house of inheritances that can escalate some sense of power and empowerment for you, goodness and luck, prosperity and abundance. You could basically say you are wealthy because of this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the house of you. Now, I will use my Taurus sun daughter, as an example. In 2012, she received an inheritance from her grandmother. And so there is this energy of money coming to you that may be something like that, okay? Or stock investment pays off, or you get the dream loan, or a home equity loan, or tax rebate of great proportion. But we're talking about a whole year. We're not just talking about what it feels like on the 23rd of May, give or take a couple of days, but how that might spin out this essence of this story for the next 12 months. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, most certainly, this is going to be a very subtle energy because the 12th house is very difficult for you to directly perceive. It's like trying to see with the eyes in the back of your head, you don't have what goes on in the hidden place of the 12th. So in an essence, it can be about some magical incredible dreams or revelations that are happening not only around the 23rd, but over the course of a year. It's certainly good for spiritual life, for spiritual awakening, for liberation from the matrix or the dream. This is also something that can bring you into touch with a very powerful female teacher, guru, guide, or mentor, not only around the 23rd, but over the course of the next 12 months. If you are one of those people who makes money from foreign countries and foreign shores, or works for an international company or business, doesn't matter, if you're in the domestic branch, you could find yourself having massive increases in the revenue and wealth you're generating from those people and place, foreign clients, foreign revenue, foreign shores, far off lands. Possibly here as well. This can look like your ability to do a kind of a backroom deals and negotiations of a century, right? You want something, you're going to negotiate it for, especially in your career house, by the way, with that sextile to Saturn up there. And we're talking luck, right? 12th house luck. So foreign people, foreign places, and foreign shores can bring you positive and lucky things over the course of a year. Venus is the ruler of the Libra, 5th house of children, fertility, pregnancy, and romance, as well as entrepreneurial business and creative projects. That part of your life is on the upswing, but it's also with a South Node, what you release and let go of here that allows it to actually improve. You may come into a new romance with a foreigner, or travel to foreign countries and meet a new partner of romance under this, or with a current partner. This could mean partnering with that person in a country other than the one of your birthplace, maybe expatting or something. Now, we see Jupiter, who's taking orders from Venus, is the ruler of your 10th house of career. And that will mean that your career is also going to benefit. Your career and reputation is amplified over the next 2 years, thanks to this conjunction, but through 12th house means, meaning through foreign lands, foreign shores, foreign revenue, backroom deals and negotiations, etc. Jupiter is also the ruler of Sag, which is your marriage house. And as they come together in Taurus, things to do with your marriage or long-term committed love, and the word foreign lands and foreign shores will prosper and do very well. Or you could reach out to an audience and marketplace in an international way through your, PayPal, Stripe, and international platforms on social media or something. And basically, to me, the most important part of this is if you really are into your spiritual life and want to understand the nature of reality, God, truth, and who you really are, then this is certainly opening up a lovely 12-year window for spiritual attainment. And maybe with Uranus, lightning strikes, and boom, and all of a sudden you're like divinely inspired and you are the next guru. All righty. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What happens is that this conjunction, not seen since 2012, the year 2000 and 1976, is back again. It's happening in your 11th house of good spirit, which is a lucky house. And it's the house in which Jupiter in the ancient tradition has his joy. So he's in great strength here. He's taking orders from Venus and her dignity. This is a powerful place in the sky. This can indicate that you're going to experience some kind of profound expansion, luck, growth, prosperity when it comes to your career gains, because technically this is your salary house, or this is the feeder for the 10th house, meaning that raises, promotions, and career financial success is also often an 11th house matter, as well as the kind of concept of windfalls or pennies from heaven can happen here. And you may be prone to having all of those things on the increase, as fairy godfather Jupiter is opening up corridors of opportunity in the house of good spirit. This is also karmic rewards, and therefore your karmic rewards are coming down to rain upon you in a positive way. And unexpected developments with an elder sibling, especially one above you by age, can happen, and it will prosper or benefit you greatly. Maybe they will be an ally benefactor. Unexpected help from others, especially an elder sibling, can happen. It has a profound impact on you, not only on the 23rd, but over the 12 months that follow. And there's some surprises here, Uranus. Venus is the ruler of your Libra part of your sky. So, 11th house things will try to interact with 4th house things. Sudden bounty and abundance and surprises financially in your 11th house can lead to good news about homeland, property, and real estate. Maybe you'll sell one house, buy another one, pare down your house and de-nest, but positive things around the nest, the home, property, and real estate. Jupiter taking orders from Venus is in charge of your 9th house, foreign land travel opportunities, academic success, book publishing success, success in court matters, perhaps over the next 12 months, but through favors from friends and allies and benefactors. That's the 11th house feature. And Jupiter also can bring some 11th house overlay to the 6th, which means that you may get a brand new job, rental situation, or pet because of a favor from a friend, a group of belonging, or something like that. Those 11th house people bring good things to you in your 6th house of work, pets, tenancies, rentals, etc. Over the course of the next year. All righty. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you're watching the live premiere. Thank you so very, very much. This is April the 19th. I'm recording this for my Patreon community. If you like this early access ad-free content, don't forget to try me out. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. In your sky, you have a conjunction not seen since 2012. Before that, 2000, and before that, 1976 in your 10th house. Jupiter, Uranus together in your 10th house of career and reputation is obvious. You're going to expand your success in your career and reputation. Lucky breaks, favors from the boss, bosses love you, new friends and bounty and wealth and prosperity and joy and happiness in your career space over not only the 23rd of May, where around that time, give or take a few days, something may happen, but also over the course of the next 12 months. This is your golden ticket space. It's all about the career and reputation. You're retired. What do you do that you want to be acknowledged for in retirement? You're a student. What do you want to do to be successful? Obviously get good grades, right? So whatever you're doing in the wide world that people recognize. If you're in high school, it's about getting great grades, right? It's your success and ambition house, your visible action house. Now, when I look at this and I see that Venus is going to also say, as the ruler of Libra, she may liberally apply some positive success to travel opportunities connected to work, sibling work opportunities connected to work, writing and social media opportunities connected to work over the course of the next 12 months. Jupiter adds his houses to the mix. Chunky money opportunities coming to you, inheritances, money from, not inheritances. We have to tie it back to the 10th house, unless it's an inheritance from a father figure, which it could be, right? Because the house of the father is the 10th house. You may experience that money from a father figure in the next 12 months, like an inheritance or bequeathment, but you could also see this as a potential way to leverage your success in your career towards things like buying stocks in the company, having severance package payouts or bonus sign-on packages or performance review chunks of money tossed at you that are not a part of your paycheck on the regular. And Jupiter also is the ruler or the owner of your 5th house of children and romance and fun and play and pleasure. I'd say the best you can expect is you might actually be very creative and having some fun in your career. And at a real practical level, if your career involves anything to do with entrepreneurship, that's another signal of great success as well if you are doing your own biz. All right, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So what happens is we see this energy here of a conjunction of Jupiter and Venus, very rare because of Uranus, but also rare just with Jupiter, Venus, and Taurus in 2012, and then back in 2000 and 1976. And you want to add a year from the spring of those years to say what kinds of bounteous things happened in your 9th house. Now, this is a very academic house, ivory tower. Colleges, campuses, universities. It's also religions and spiritual traditions and churches and mosques and synagogues. It's also things to do with court and legal matters. And it's also for travel to far off foreign shores. It's book publishing and third marriages. So a lot to be said about that. And in essence, these areas were like lit up. But there were no surprises back in the other time frames of 76, 2000, 2012. Okay, the surprises are the Iranian unexpected stuff that's also embedded into this. So positive surprises in that part of your life over the next year, over the next 12 months from this conjunction. Venus is the owner of your second house of earnings. You need to let go of some kind of hustle that, to make the money. And yeah, as you do that, you could have great blessings in your finances, in your resources, in your savings. But you also have to remind yourself the energy of the ninth house is Dharma. What is your true meaning and purpose in life? How can you align to your true north? And you'll have lightning bolts of possibility to do that. You might note that Jupiter is the owner of your marriage house, and that sextiling from here in this conjunction is very positive. Could mean some very powerful developments regarding legal marriage for you over the next couple year, getting married basically, or things to do with foreign travel, foreign shores, and possibly a move to another country, because Jupiter also rules your fourth house of home and homeland. And some of you may relocate to another country based on variables to do with a significant business or love partner. And last and not least, this is a house of grandchildren. Surprise! If you didn't think you were going to have a grandchild, the ninth house in the next year might deliver a grandchild or two. So let's see how that goes. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. So for you, and your Venus ruled, as is Taurus, this is going to be the conjunction not seen since 1976, 2000, 2012, and now back again, the conjunction of benefic Jupiter and Venus together in the sign of Taurus, which is your eighth house of chunky money. Simply said, you're going to get richer. Now, it is inheritance monies usually here, but also unexpected chunks of money that can come from such things as tax rebates, insurance payouts, book royalty income, sudden surges of money that aren't on the regular savings and earning structures of houses 11 and 2. Therefore, this exciting chunk of energy, like chunky money energy, is playing out not just on April the 23rd, okay, around that time, because even Venus is invisible, as I said, till July. But over the course of the 12 months that follow, expect some money to come your way in a very exciting and unexpected, exhilarating way. Venus is the ruler here of and someone could spill secrets, but they're good. If you got secrets spilled, especially from the family of origin, that's going to help open up good things for you. But also, you can see that Venus is the ruler of your first house, and this benefits you. This chunky money personally benefits your identity. If it's your moon, your body, and your health. If it's your sun, your career and purpose, your Libra sun. It's your ascendant, your physical form, and your identity are going to have an upsurge. Now, you have to let go of an old identity. South Node is here, but you're going to find there's this kind of like uplift of sense of self because of a sense of wealth. And let's see how that looks. Libras have a hard time with a work-life balance, so this could be a turning point on that as well. Jupiter is the ruler of two houses here, the Pisces house of work, rentals, and tenancies. Now, this can indicate some very good financial uplift connected to work environments, but more importantly, debts. We pay karmic debt, and we pay real debts, or debts are paid back here. So if you have to pay off a debt, you owe money to someone or some institution, I would say that this is going to allow for a surge, an unexpected surge of money that allows you to pay off debts, to acquire a pet or a rental, to improve your health. And Jupiter is also the lord of the sign of Sagittarius, which is your third house, indicating a possibility of the surge of wealth giving way to more frequent travel opportunities or being able to enroll in a skills-based learning environment over the course of the next year. As well, the 12 months that follow, you may have some surge of connection here to a sibling as a result of this chunky wealth that allows you to connect to that sibling or to cousins, aunts, and uncles, and neighbors in a new and more exciting way over the course of this 12 months ahead. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm going way past the day. I apologize. Blah. Someone shoot me. I got to go back to hours. All right. There, coming through. Time stamping sister, hang in there. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. So what you've got happening here, Scorpio, is you're going to feel a very big energy in your marriage house. And you haven't felt this energy since 1976, 2000, 2012, and now here we are again. Add a year, by the way. So spring of those years, 76, 2000, 2012, add a year, boom, big surge in the marriage house. Now, it can be what it is. Like, you're not married, you meet your dream partner, and you find the person in the next year, your true soulmate. Or you're with somebody and exciting developments are happening in that relationship. And that relationship excitement could be just for them. Your significant other has this massive, exciting, prosperous, wealthy, and positive developments in their story. And you're just watching it on the sidelines, right? You're just witnessing them just go for it with all this goodness. If you have an audience marketplace that you reach out to, like you're an artist and you have to put your stuff into the audience marketplace, or you're, whatever, you have a sales job and you have to communicate to the client, that's your seventh house. It's how you get the product of your 10th house into the public. So there's a lot of excitement here. And if you are an artistic person, especially with the Saturn sextile from the 5th house and Jupiter's rulership of the 5th house, some of you could have a hit, especially viral. Uranus is the internet. So you put out that song, that painting, that book, and it goes whoosh. And you're like, can't believe it. Not just around the 23rd, but over the course of the year that follows, the 12 months that follows, the May 23rd conjunction. This energy is also, because Venus is the ruler of what's happening, she is the ruler of your 12th house of far off foreign shores and countries, international business revenue as well. So there can be some sense of having some international business revenue coming your way, or a need to let go of or release where you live. I mean, I'm going to square away with that. I mean, Pluto is in Aquarius. Goodness gracious. We're doing a video on the weekly about the Pluto-Venus square. But I mean, this could mean some of you will be also maybe wanting to relocate yourself to another country from your home country over the course of the 12 months that follows this exciting conjunction. Maybe your partner and their needs are going to pull you into another country, or your career success as well with that sudden viral hit or something like it. Jupiter is the ruler, as I said, of your 5th house, and that's fertility and pregnancy. For some of you, this could be unexpected, sudden news that you are pregnant, you or your partner are pregnant. You also find that entrepreneurial and creative projects can really take off. And because Jupiter involved in this conjunction, who takes orders from the Venus goddess of money, is the Lord of your 2nd house. Whatever's going on is going to improve your finances and your savings, okay? A big kaboom in finances and savings here over the course of the next 12 months. Financial earnings, financial savings, a glow up in your 2nd house. And if you have to get rid of a self-addiction, self-undoing bad habit or pattern, this could also help you let go of it in a very sudden, dramatic way, but maybe because of a significant other. Like you take a course, or you get a teacher, you get a guide, a mentor, or coach to help you quit, or your significant other is having some kind of big breakthrough. They tell you to quit. Who knows? But it's really good for that too. Good for quitting the thing that undoes you. Venus is the ruler of the South Node in the house of addictions, and self-undoing, can simply say you're also dramatically, suddenly, and easily letting go of some addictive substance, pattern, or habit in not only the 23rd of May, but in the year that follows. Just the basic stuff, guys. Cigarettes, too much alcohol, hopefully not crystal meth or anything like that. All right, moving forward. I probably shouldn't say those words here. I'm sure that they're like non-advertiser friendly. All right, moving into Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's funny, one of my shorts was about Joe Biden maybe stepping down from the election, and it was deemed advertiser unfriendly by YouTube. Yes, there's certain things they won't advertise, that want to get behind, like election predictions for elections, I guess. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Jupiter, Uranus are giving you an unexpected jolt of super happy surprises, but also add Venus now on the 23rd of May from your 6th house. It is about work, pets, tendencies, debts, karmic and real, health and health matters. All right. So I want you to go back to 1976, 2000, and 2012 and add 12 months, because that was the area where the goodness was trying to happen. Fairy godmother and father are working together. For a lot of you, it could literally be able to pay off debt, a mortgage, a credit card, some kind of indebtedness. And you could suddenly, Uranus, surprisingly be able to pay it off or to pay it down, to find the dream rental property, to get the dream pet all of a sudden. Exciting, unexpected pets coming your way. All right. So that's happening. Now, with Venus here, she is the ruler of your 11th house. And so some of this unexpected positivity around the karmic debts and real life debts service, burn off that karma, 6th house, can outpitch her as a letting go of some of your long range hopes and dreams and wishes, your 11th house south node, some of your ways of earning money from a career path, letting go of some of your friends and social groups, because in that letting go, you're also receiving all this bounteous goodness in your 6th house. You would note that Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces, and Pisces is a place in your sky that has to do with home, land, property, and real estate, and mother's line. Certainly, some debt elimination through a mother figure could happen, but also, I mentioned the rental houses here. For some of you, it could definitely look like a brand new rental opportunity, or as a landlord, a chance to rent a property out in a sudden, unexpected way, not only around the 23rd, but over the course of the next year, 12 months onward. Jupiter is the lord of the house of your body, and if is your Sag sun, your career, your Sag moon, your home or your body. If it's a Sag sun you're listening from, then your career and purpose. But if you're a Sag rising, it's everything about you, your identity, your body, your persona, your character. And whatever's going on here, this like sort of debt repayment, karmic or real, in the house of sickness especially, can really liberate you and your health and really improve your outlook on life. So it's good for your health. If you had any health challenges, things can really turn around here. Any work challenges, things can really turn around here. Any tendencies, pets and rental situations, turnaround stories are happening. Capricorn, sun, moon, a rising sign. It happens to be a conjunction in the house of lottery wins. The only sign I'm telling to play the lottery is you guys for sure. I mean, Venus here is in the house of her joy, in the 5th house of speculation, risky investments, but also winning through games of chance. And that includes casinos and horse races and lotteries and betting. Now, I'm not suggesting you do that. Please know your limit and play within it, but you can win something. And is it going to happen on the 23rd? Maybe not. Maybe it'll take up to 12 months, because this is baking in a 12-month story that hasn't happened since when? Back in 2012, March. 2000, May, 1976, May. From each of those timeframes, add 12 months. Did you have some money luck? This is a house of good fortune. This is 2 planets of luck, Venus and Jupiter together. Plenty, bounteous, growth, expansion, and luck. It is fertility on steroids and love at a highest level. If you want to be pregnant, you can get pregnant. If you want to find true love, you will. If you're already in a relationship, this deepens and strengthens the fun, the joy, the play, and the pleasure of that relationship. If you're listening for your Capricorn sun, this can also be an up level of your enjoyment in your career, but also maybe a lot of creative projects in the next year, and a lot of entrepreneurial success, if that's the type of career you have, consulting or doing your own thing over the next 12 months. Your children themselves that are already here can benefit from this, and they may have unexpected, surprising things happen to them, including pregnancy. And therefore, this could also bring you unexpected, surprising developments around one of your children and the word pregnancy over the next 12 months. If you're an artist or creative, yay you are able to hatch out plentiful Jupiter, creative projects, Venus. If you're a performer, artist, or an actor, especially, holy moly, the dream role, the dream project, the dream novel was written, the dream song was sung, you're on your game. This is great for the creative Capricorns of the world. You're just luckier than all F, okay, over the next year. Now, one thing I'd say about this is that, Venus is the ruler of your 10th house, and you're letting go of your reputation career. You're having to let something drop down, right? You're letting it go. But at the same time, who cares? You're having fun and you're having good fortune, right? So Venus is yeah, we're having good fortune, and you can let go, south node, of that career reputation thing that you thought was so darn important. And you can also note that Jupiter is the ruler of the place where your planetary lord, Mars, is sitting. This is indicating some real increase here of opportunities for travel, journeys, neighborhood connections. Siblings are very functional and positive for you over the next year. Things to do with writing projects can take off, and things to do with the online social media land as well can really thrive for you over the course of the next 12 months. Also, Jupiter owns a Sag piece of your sky, indicating some financial luck and opportunities from far off foreign shores, foreign places, and foreign people. So I'm looking forward to hearing how that works for you. Let me know. Aquarius, sun, moon, and especially rising. I am one of you. Now, what I would say about this in a simple beginning way of talking here about it is this: you are experiencing a real critical turning point. It's angular fourth house around your property, home, and real estate matters. In essence, where you live or what you do in and from your home in order to prosper. And there is a lot of luck down here over the next 12 months. Now, you had this lockdown here before in 1976, May, 2000, May, and 2012, March, and you want to add 12 months for each of those. What's exciting is Uranus brings something fresh, exhilarating, and new that hasn't existed before. Now, because it's the house of the mother and mother figures, you might indeed have some prosperity or luck and a bounty coming through a mother figure. Oh, yes, you could over the course of the next 12 months. This is like expand your home and beautify your home. This is beautiful luxury home with great sensual delight and pleasure, shocking, surprising opportunity or change. Venus here, she's like, love in the home, beauty in the home, joy in the home is very big for you over the course of the next year. And Jupiter is luck and expansion of home. Venus is a ruler of your ninth house, and you have to let go of stuff up there, but some of this luck could come through foreign countries, foreign shores, and moving or traveling to, or from people of foreign lands, especially with whom you feel a soulmate connection or a past life connection. Second of all, you could find with Lord Jupiter being the ruler of your second house of earnings, that whatever this bounty is, savings, earnings, resources, and money you need in order to survive and thrive, that's about to jump up, but in a consistent, reliable, and lasting way with Saturn in your earnings house. So there's a big jolt of financial goodness coming through the fourth house for you as well. Jupiter is the ruler of your 11th house of friends and allies, benefactors, and the gains in your career. And there's a sensibility here that maybe you're going to increase your career gains, salary, wages, raises, promotions as well. But if you do also do that, you could also be revising your plans for your life. Your 5-year, 10-year plan, your dreams and wishes are maybe going to boost in a way, but also change in a way. Saturn is the lord of your sign, and he's really embedded in that earnings house, and he's really steady as she goes, turtle, and he's the turtle, not the, he's a slow mover. But there's something about Uranus in a square to Saturn, a sextile to Saturn, that says, well, no matter how steady and practical and realistic and slow and incremental you think this new earning style is going to be, Saturn in your second house, in Jupiter's house, there is a sense here of some shocking or surprising developments that change the way that financial safety net is coming to you and for you and all of that. But I'm going to say back in 1976, I was only 14 years old, so I didn't really have much change around home and homeland, but I did start working for my dad at his drugstore, and that did increase my second house of bounty. And in back in 2000, May to 2021, I mentioned earlier I traveled to Findhorn, Scotland. That's because Venus is the lord of my ninth house, and I felt like I've been there in a past life every time I've been to Scotland. That's nothing new, but also And then in 2012, I got married in Scotland to 2013. A lot of what happens for me seems to be about what Venus wants me to do, which is ninth house things. I meant to say ninth house matters are also book publishing, also third marriages, also things to do with your legal matters and things to do with your spiritual faith. And there's a lot with K2 up there to say spiritual faith is on the rise. So you may have a spiritual opening in and from your home, or in the next 12 months, a spiritual teacher, female likely, comes to visit you close to home, and you have a spiritual enlivenment from that. I'll let you guys know how it goes. It's certainly going to benefit our finances and our home and prosperity in real estate matters, but unexpectedly, right? Changes we don't see coming because Uranus is here. Predict as we try, we may not get it right here in this video today. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. We have this transit of Venus connected to Jupiter in your third house. You had this in 1976, 2000, 2012, and you can go back to those years in the spring and add a year because it is once again here. Unexpected travel opportunities, unexpected development with siblings, especially younger, unexpected changes of neighborhoods are, well, not unexpected, it's unexpected this time. Back then, it's just bounteous and exciting and positive luck around neighbors, neighborhoods, siblings, travel, writing projects, short distance travel, and skills-based learning. So go back and remind yourself of what you were doing in those time frames. Now, because you have Venus as the Lord, okay, the ruling planet of Libra, there may be some involvement with chunky money here in the next 12 months, but you might have to let go of it. It's almost like release yourself from it. Don't rely on the inheritance money or the spousal money, because as you sort of are able to surrender that, you're also expanding in your social media land. That's the websites, social media stories, prosperity and bounty with your local clients or businesses, or with your like virtual clients. Maybe it can really be really good for you as well if you're somebody who wants to write. This could be like, because Mercury is here, so you could become very, very successful at your writing, or a specific writing project, Pisces, can really take off for you in the next 12 months and be quite successful. Jupiter is the ruler of you. You have Saturn in the house of you. He's taking orders from Venus. They're flowing back at you in a sextile. Your health is going to improve in a steadfast but positive way. You're going to find yourself feeling better about life, more lucky in general, more solid in who you are. And some of that solidity can come through siblings, neighbors, neighborhoods, cousins, nieces, and nephews that give you a boost, a luck boost, because those are third house people. And often I find Venus and Mercury in the third house can sell anything. This is a communications house. So your ability to be a marketer, a promoter, or a seller is on the rise, and it helps you feel better about yourself and improves your health. And Jupiter also happens to be the ruler of your Sagittarius career space. So some of this writing stuff or creativity or communication, selling, marketing, social media land, luck that's upon you can also improve your reputation and your career in some very tangible way. And mostly I'd say you can feel good about this because this is flowing back at you. And Jupiter rules that Saturn, who's trying to sort of strengthen and fortify you and give you a sense of solidity, maturity, sagacity, and wisdom. Saturn, responsibility and realism, but in a good way. And so you're kind of coming into a combination of luck meets steadfast realism over the course of the next year. Third house people can surprisingly help you, right? The neighbor, the sibling, the cousin, the aunt, the uncle, the niece, those people can suddenly show up in your life as really supportive. But I would say unexpected, surprising opportunity for lucky travel at shorter distances and connection to siblings is also very blessed over the course of the next 12 months. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit my notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I will be back again in my next video talking all about Jupiter moving in. Mars moving into the sign of Aries. Don't forget, if you want to join my Patreon community, they're getting this today, April the 19th, quite ahead of the time you got it on YouTube, and they don't have any ads. It's ad-free. They also can, you also get as a bribe for even the cheapest $5 tier. Not only you get 3 Zoom meetings with me a month, but you get all up to 3, but the cheapest tier, you got 1, $5 a month. For trying me out at any tier, the gift I'm giving you is Synastry, Are You My Person? Relationship Astrology course, and Chiron, the Key to Purpose. Those courses are replays of 90-minute classes. You get those classes for free, just for giving me a try. If you don't like me after a month, you can leave after spending a mere $5. The value of those courses is $44 in my resale teaching platform right now. So that's quite the generous gift, just to say, give me a try on Patreon. I'm trying to reach a new level of subscribers. And so I'm trying to reach 400, and I have 360 right now. So let me know if you want to join, come join, say hi when you get there. I respond to almost all my comments there compared to here, because now I'm getting like 9,000 comments a month. But on my Patreon community, I'm just getting hundreds of comments, and I can connect with you and we can have more intimacy there. Thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Thank you.